Welcome to another episode of Talking Nerdy in the Bedroom with
Corey,
KJ,
and Mike.
Hey, it's all of us.
Hey!
Yes.
Did a
So,
thing.
what we have, like 3 weeks ago, Mike was a bit of a bitch with needing to work late and provide for his family. Then 2 weeks ago, I was a bitch and really wanted to do a wrestling podcast without you fucks. Then a week ago, Corey was a bitch who had a headache. But now we're here. Look.
I mean, I think my kids had COVID, but yeah.
No, you had a headache.
My kids had COVID, so I wasn't sure if I had COVID. I was on Paxlovid, but I never tested positive.
What did he
so.
text us?
I have a headache, but
there it is.
You
That
knew
was
the
it.
backstory.
Like, I have a headache. My head hurts. I woke up because of my
Right.
contacts.
Remember that conversation we had yesterday about explaining shit?
Yeah. He's bad at it.
No, you said it was so good.
Well, he gives an explanation, but then he
You're a liar,
changes his
sir.
explanation.
You're a liar.
He changes it.
Okay, anyway, I'll let it go, but you're wrong.
Did you or did you not say, my
that
eyes hurt and I have a headache because of
Yeah.
contacts, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
This is actually going to be the
yeah.
last podcast
It
of The
should
Last
be.
of Us.
I'm done.
We're just going to continue. This is going to get bad.
No, I still feel like this should be a running joke that we never do this episode because we've been talking about this for a month. That
Well, good.
we're
I'm
going to
fucking
do
out
it.
then.
We're going to
Yeah.
do it. We're going to do it. And then we
I got
didn't.
pizza to eat.
Pizza. All right. So we are going to do The Last of Us finally. It did end like 3-4 weeks ago at this point by the time this comes out. So I played the game almost immediately. Did you guys play it immediately or eventually? Like, I know Corey owned it, but didn't play it until just recently, and he barely probably
I
even
haven't
played
it. At
You still
all.
haven't? I thought you said, I'm going to play it. I'm going to do this.
Mike was here for this conversation. I literally just said I haven't played it, so I'll have no input.
I
about
thought
the
you
game.
meant like you hadn't played it all the way through because you were talking
I
about
said
potentially
I
being
haven't
able to
played
finish it.
I won't have any input on the game, but that's okay. So.
You're a piece of shit. So you bought the game and it's just sitting there.
I bought a shit ton of games during COVID when they were on like some online sale. I can't even remember where I got them from.
You didn't buy this game years ago?
No,
GameStop was doing like a...
it was GameStop.
Yeah, $9.99 game deal for a while.
It was
yeah.
crazy. You could get games for like $4.99, $10.99, depending on the game. But,
Yeah.
And then there was like buy two get two.
I bought like 10 games for
Yeah.
$50.
I went crazy, so I got all the what's it called? Last Souls, right? No,
Dark Souls?
Dark Souls, yeah. And then
That
I
you've
got-
never played.
No, they're all just sitting there.
Those
I
are
have
actually
played some-
$4 games.
Well, yeah. Well, I have
fucking
played
hate
some
Dark
of the
Souls.
games I bought when I get like if I get the flu or something, and I know I'm gonna be laid up for a bit, or like if I get COVID again, I'm just gonna fucking put in one of the games and play.
Did you put in one of the games when you thought you had COVID?
Not one of these games, but I did with one of the other games I played.
Should have put in Last of Us.
Well,
It's a game of a generation, sir.
I go alphabetically, so I'm not at the L's yet for the new game.
Do we consider it L or T?
Although I'll say I regretted I played this stupid game. I can't remember, but it's set back in time, and you're like a detective, but you're a ghost. It's really freaking
Oh,
dumb.
I think I played that. It's awful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty bad. I can't remember what it's called.
So, Mike, what about you for playing the game? Did you do it with the PS3 back in the
3,
day
yeah.
or PS4?
I think I was like a sophomore in high school.
God,
Was it that long ago?
No,
It's-
what-
I'm pretty sure
I
it
thought
came
was
out.
in college.
2013.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
That was after college.
Okay, then
actually.
that I must
That's
have.
7 years after I
Yeah.
graduated high school.
Yeah.
So it was pretty. Well, yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I don't know. Years go by after.
Well, I will say, COVID-wise, like the last 3 years have
I want to
basically
say
all
I
felt
had
like
it on
one.
PlayStation 3 though.
Yeah.
Well, I
okay.
did.
It was on
But PlayStation 3 came out when I was like in high school.
It did.
It-
Okay, so it was like the last game of PlayStation
Yes.
3.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of, and then that's why they re-released it a year later on PS4.
Yeah, I don't.
I played it on PS3, I played it on PS4, and I've played it on PS5.
I remember seeing scenes from the show and being like, "Oh yeah, that's from the game." Other than that, like, I don't remember shit about it.
So-
I remember like the backpack that you can have for the
Oh, yeah.
items.
And there's some of the animations are basically a shot for shot of
Yeah,
the
the
animation in
different-
the game.
The different monsters, if you want to call them that.
The zombies,
Yeah,
the infected,
They're not zombies.
yeah, they're not zombies.
and the infected.
They're like monsters.
The fungus people. I don't
To
know
be
what to
fair,
call
well, we'll get into the show in just a second. So for me, this is one of my favorite games. It's probably within the top 5 or top 10 games of all time, and it's probably in the top 3 of best stories of a game of all time for me. So it's one of those that I've always enjoyed. So again, I played it on PS3 when it first came out. I replayed it on PS4 when it came out then. I replayed it on PS5 when the new game came out, Last of Us 2. And then for this TV show, I replayed it again.
It's in
because
your
I wanted
top
to do
5
it.
of all time.
For stories?
No, you just said.
I said 5 or 10. Top 5 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you maybe 10.
Like
I haven't played it, but
cinematic
I've heard
stories?
it's really good.
Stories like in general.
Video
like
game
yeah,
stories?
Yeah. Like top 3 video game stories of all time.
Okay, but top 10 maybe for
Game.
just overall.
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, because there's just so many games going back in time. I always have a hard time coming up with a list.
Yeah, but there's some games that just stay with you that have the not only replayability, but also if the story holds up. And it's just, if you go back to those games, they pushed the graphics too of that generation to its absolute max, to the point where I thought the system itself should break because of what they can do with it.
I mean, it's no WWF No Mercy, but it's...
That's true. That's true.
I was trying to think what games you would have really liked when you were younger, and I was like, I bet he liked No Mercy.
The Donkey Kongs, the Marios.
Yeah, but those are generic.
How are those generic? Those are the games
I'm
that get
saying
everybody hooked.
everybody would have been like, I love
sure.
Mario.
I'm pretty sure I had like an NWO game.
Yeah, there was an NWO sold out game.
For N64?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that's what I had.
I always liked the No Mercy. The one with that was the one with Steve Cold on the front, right?
Steve Cold?
Stone
Cold Steve Austin?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Steve Cold!
Sorry.
That's his superhero name?
Yeah, is that what it is? Jesus.
Is that even his real name, Steve Austin?
It's Steve Williams is his real name.
Okay. So I was just as close to his
I
real
was
name
going to say
as
his real
Austin's.
name's Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he got that name because he was trying to think of a wrestling name, and his wife at the time was British, and she's like, drink your tea before it gets stone cold, which is a common expression over in Britain.
What a lay.
And then she's like, there's your name,
So she
Stone
said,
Cold Steve Austin.
You better drink it before it gets stone cold.
Yeah, basically.
That is the dumb. I always just assumed it was related to him wanting a nice cold beer. And
No,
like
and beer was way
I thought it was like
before when it
the
started.
way he looked at people.
Yeah,
so
or something,
he
but-
tried to mock or imitate, because he saw this documentary about a
tombstone.
serial killer, and so he tried
He tried to imitate a serial killer.
yes, for how
That's
he
a good way
presented
to-
himself, how he looked, how he would act in front of people in the sense of not caring, just wanting to kick their
It looks
ass.
like he's trying to-
Let me just say, our listeners already had to suffer through one wrestling
Suffer.
episode.
People watched the shit out of that, and that thing was
yeah.
almost 3 hours long.
But they're all wrestling fans.
And I don't
so
fucking care.
something's
You
wrong with them.
talked
We don't
for
want
3
you-
hours by yourself?
Well, no, it was me and my buddy Dennis.
Is this like a
3
buddy from back home, or
No, this is a
somebody you met
buddy
online that you were obsessed with
Yeah, with
wrestling
the
together?
EFED thing that we haven't spoken in, I don't know, 10 years or
Yeah.
so. But yeah, he lives up in Canada right now, so we just did it over Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Wait, that's an option?
I mean, it's an option for people that aren't here, because I will say the audio, like, I had to clean up that audio like there's no tomorrow off of Zoom, compared to this, which is already cleaned up.
Right, but you have
yeah,
to clean
well-
up this chair every single time I have to
I'd
sit in
rather
it.
do that.
But
We've gotten off track, goddammit. Last of Us. Video game, amazing. Mike, you finished the video game, right?
Yeah.
Corey hasn't even started it, but
So-
we finished the game.
If I remember correctly, the ending to the show is not the ending to the game.
No,
I
it's
feel
the
like
exact.
missing like
it's the exact ending,
Is it?
shot for shot.
I feel like
It
it's
ends exactly where it ends.
I don't know. I feel like I missed something.
They're climbing up the mountain, heading back to Joel's brother's house or
Yeah.
camp or whatever, and then she asks him the question, "Don't lie to me. If you lie to me now, blah blah blah. You know, are you telling me the truth?" And he says yes.
what happens?
And it
in
cuts
the
to her
game
face
if
and it goes
you
away.
Choose...
You don't get a choice.
Oh, you don't. Okay.
No, you literally just stand there. Because when you go into the room where she is, the doctor's there and he pulls a scalpel on you. He's like, "I won't let you take her." And then you have the choice to just stand there and not do anything for a while, but nothing progresses. You have to kill
That's
him.
not what I'm talking about. I'm saying at the end when she says, "Don't lie to me."
There's
you
no
have a-
choice. It's just a
Oh,
cinematic.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know why you went back to the surgery room.
Because that's your last gameplay moment.
You can't
Oh, okay.
roll to bluff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's no bluffing.
Yeah.
That's basically your last game.
Don't
at the
lie
moment.
to me,
Like, you're
crit 10.
running
Yeah.
through the hospital, killing all those people, getting to the surgery room. Your last kind of act is killing the doctor. You can kill the nurses too. Picking up Ellie,
Like how you
and then
said that, like, oh, you can kill the nurses too. It's
yeah,
pretty
it was
fun.
a little,
Yeah.
a little creepy.
it's funny though, because in the game you can like kind of
It's
hesitate.
funny, though.
Do
You
I
can
kill?
nurses.
Do I kill the doctor? Do I not kill the doctor? And in this one, Pedro Pascal, within 2 seconds, just shot him in the face. Just
Yeah.
boom, dead.
I kind of
Okay,
like
fuck
that
you.
better.
It just shows that he didn't give a fuck at that point. I'm going
Yeah.
to save her.
Yeah.
I couldn't save my other daughter, but I'm saving her.
Right.
All right, so let's now
I
get
mean,
into
that's
the
fair. If somebody pulls a scalpel on you, you use a large caliber handgun and blow their fucking.
Could have popped him in the knee.
It also would have been kind of a weird moment after he worked his way through the hospital, slaughtering everyone he could see, and then he gets into the room and he's like, maybe I should spare this guy.
Well, the other people there were
Like,
We're
shooting,
shooting
him.
at him, though.
They were shooting at
some
him.
of them were.
They all are wearing the
They
fucking
might have had a
vests and
gun. I
stuff.
agree
Yeah.
they all had a gun or a weapon, but some of them were like sitting in a chair on the computer.
Yeah, he's just minding all his business. He's like, you know what? I think I want corn dogs for dinner, and
Yeah.
my shift ends in like 4. Pow!
Yeah.
But what
Guy's like, I finally finished the Sudoku. And then fucking, bam!
or I'm about to finish
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Sudoku.
yeah.
I got one number
Yeah.
left. I know it's a 1.
Fuck you, New York Times. I got this crossword down. Dead.
All right, so let's get into the actual show itself. When they announced they were doing a show, were you guys excited? Were you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
nervous
I thought it was gonna be
about
cool.
them ruining it, or were you indifferent?
I was excited because I had no baseline to be ruined, so I haven't played
Well, yeah,
the
but
game.
then why would you be excited for something that you don't know how good it
'Cause
is?
It sounded like it was going to be a massive budgeted zombie TV show on HBO Max with Pedro Pascal, who I already like. So what's not to be excited?
Well, they announced it, The Last of Us, before they announced it, his casting, but yes.
Okay, well, let's put
And
this
then
way. I
when they
probably
announced
didn't know
him, people
about it.
were, is he going to be a good Joel? Is he not going to be a good Joel? He's
Yeah.
been a fantastic Joel.
But again, in my mind, I don't really care because I don't know what Joel was like in the game.
Sure.
So it's basically him being whatever he's going to be. And I'll have
But
no-
you were excited for just the premise of it, not the fact that it was a video game adaptation?
I mean, yeah, that probably didn't really. If you told me there's going to be a show called The Last of Us, not based off a video game, this is the plot, these are the people being cast for it, I'd probably still be excited. Like, I don't think it had anything to do with it being from a video game. Now, you having played the game and loved it, obviously I can understand why it would be more exciting for you, but
Well, it was exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking because we all know how some, if
did it
not
keep
most,
you up at night?
adaptations go where you're just like, fuck, they're going to ruin it.
Yeah.
But the part that made me feel better is they brought on Neil Druckmann, who's the one who created The Last of Us, the video game, to be a part of the show.
I like that they worked the voice actors into various
lot of
roles.
them
Yeah,
Into
yeah.
it. Yeah, you have Joel, who is the...
Is he the guy that's like the second in command to the
No,
cannibal?
that is... Joel's brother.
Tommy.
Tommy, yeah,
the
that's
voice
Tommy's
of Ellie
voice
is
actor.
the mother.
Voice of Ellie is the mother
Yeah,
of Ellie in the TV show. Joel is actually the guy that the TV show Ellie hits with a cleaver. In that scene where they look like they're about to kill her and turn her into food with the minister guy.
Joel is that guy?
Joel isn't the guy that wants to eventually rape her, but he's the other guy right next
That's
to
what
her.
I was saying. The
Yes.
second in command to the cannibal guy.
Oh, to the cannibal guy. I thought you were saying the second in command because there's also the Tommy
Yeah.
voice actor is the second in command to the girl from that town that they were in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's who that is.
Yeah.
And then what most people didn't notice is that Abby from the second game, she cameos in this too as one of the nurses in that last
I
scene too.
knew that. I read the list only because I read the list.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have known.
But yeah, they did a very good job of putting people in that were from the game. They've also the girl that plays oh god, I'm not going to remember her name. The girl that gives Ellie to Joel and asks him to take her.
Oh,
Marcine or something.
Marlene.
Marlene.
Is the exact girl that plays her in the video game.
yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. So I think they did a great job for the casting and they lived up to it. But I was nervous going into it to begin with because It's one of my favorites and one of the best stories. So are they going to be a faithful adaptation, or are they going to fuck it up? And I think they knocked it out of the park. Did that worry you at all, Mike, with playing the game, with at least liking the game? Not as much as I did, but with liking the game.
I would have liked to see more
Infected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So-
the big like one crazy scene is like just when they're leaving the town.
Yeah,
And
in
they have,
episode
like-
2, I think.
Yeah. Is that what it is? I don't know. They come out of the ground and everything like
Yep.
that.
So part of that is this story. So in the video game,
Like you don't see was it a boomer in the basement? The first time you actually see the thing, they're like down in a basement area.
Oh, the bloater?
Bloater, yeah.
No, the first time you see it in the game, you're in the school, where you meet, the guy who ends up being the gay guy in Nick Offerman in the TV
Frank?
show. Is his name Frank? Yeah, it's Frank. So you meet him
It's either
in the
Frank
video
or
game.
Ben. Or, is that what it is, Ben?
I think
feel
it's
like
Ben.
It's definitely not Ben. It's 100% not Ben.
George?
Bill.
Bill. I was gonna say Bill.
Got
but
the
wait,
bees.
Is Bill Nick Offerman
Yeah.
or is Frank?
Bill is Nick Offerman.
okay.
Yeah. Frank and Bill.
Frank is the other guy.
Frank and Beans.
But yeah, so you meet Bill in that town, and then you eventually go to the school when you're trying to get a part for the truck to leave the town.
Yeah.
That's where you first meet the bloater in the video game. And then you get some other scenes in the hotel with the bloater. Then there's other scenes with the bloater.
Yeah, I
in
think
this
there's a
one,
lot-
you only got, I think, one scene with the bloater,
Yeah.
which was a cool scene.
It was cool.
It was very cool.
But you
and
don't-
he murdered Tommy.
You don't really
Well, voice
see
actor
it
Tommy.
as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't know. They did a good job with like the cinematics of and everything. I just don't feel like they, other than the clickers, they didn't really make a point to like individualize each creature.
So there's only like 3 or 4 different ones at this point. So there's the stalker, who you only really meet once.
right, you
and-
see him like over the city's top, right?
No, I wasn't even talking about that one. So that's one, yes.
when they're
but
leaving Boston.
When Ellie goes into the basement when Joel is hiding one of the guns at that like convenience store. So Ellie goes in the basement, and there's that one that's like trapped underneath a beam.
Oh yeah.
Technically, that's a stalker.
What is the stalker?
Stalkers are ones that in the video game will literally look at you around a corner and then wait and then attack you. So it's
Okay,
that
but
type of zombie.
They don't look any different. than
They look a little bit different in the face. Like usually it's like one eye covered and one eye not covered, which is very similar to that one that you see. Clickers have no eyes, and then the regular infected have both eyes.
Yeah.
And then the bloater obviously is fucking the big
It's
guy.
all stages of cordyceps.
Yes.
So like as you progress in cordyceps, you become a stronger and stronger like version. Like the clickers have evolved so the cordyceps completely covers their face, but also makes them like ridiculously hard to kill.
Yeah, well, it's very hard to get a shot off face wise, and you basically have to
Their
kill the
head is
brain.
armored.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I did so in the video game, because you're kind of Superman in the video game. Like you're murdering clickers left and right if you have a shiv, and you are shooting all these other zombies or infected constantly. So in the game, they were trying to put, in the TV show, they
More
were
of, like,
trying
a
to put more.
humanistic.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
putting more effort on the fact that these are dangerous things. You're not just gonna be Superman going into all these situations. If you do that, you're going to die.
Yeah. I mean, I would have liked to kind of see a little bit more of Joel's backstory from like some flashbacks of when he was like doing some crazy shit with his brother.
So I agree, but none of that's in the game too.
Well, right, but you have the hour and 30-minute Bill and Frank episode
you
that
did have that episode.
wasn't in the game.
Nope, it wasn't in the game. I agree.
Which again, that I don't have any problem with that being in there if you want to make those characters more in depth. I think they could have shortened that and then put more backstory on Joel and more backstory. I mean, I really did like the backstory that you see on Ellie about her like being in that like college thing and her friend. And...
Oh, so well, yeah, not really a college, but yeah, it's a
the military school.
orphanage school.
Yeah.
Did you ever play the DLC for Last of Us?
No.
So that is the DLC for The Last of Us.
Gotcha.
It's called Left Behind, I think. And so it's almost
in the mall, right?
in the mall.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the whole everything is almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it's really well done. It was really well acted, and you get the whole scene with them first getting infected, which is super cool to see on TV, and then super cool, obviously, to experience in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with this though, with the let's talk about the first episode, because the first episode for me has one of the greatest openings of a TV show that I've seen in a very long time. With that scene from like a 1950s or 60s TV show where it's like three guys talking in a stage,
yeah.
and they're talking about like viruses and things, and then one of them specifically talks about like cordyceps and what they do and what could happen if that happens. It's such an eerie fucking moment that almost wasn't going to be in the show. They had a different open to begin with before they eventually got talked into something like this. And I don't know how that new opening would have been, but right off the gate, I was already in love with this show when that happened, because I was like, holy shit.
I also like the interview, not really interview, but like the
interrogation
of the scientist.
Yes, that. And
she's
she
like, "Well,
says
what are you
to
gonna
bomb it?
do?" She's like, "I'm gonna go home with my family."
Yeah, and what should we do?
Bomb the town.
Bomb everything. Like, yeah, that is such an eerie moment of being like, she knows we're fucked. She absolutely knows we're all fucked. Yeah, if you have that level of intelligence and understand what this is.
I want to know why you can't just get some, like, Arm and Hammer. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's nothing that prevents this except for Ellie, apparently.
It's a really stupid concept.
Why?
Because we could easily, I mean, there's fungicides that could be used to break this thing down.
And they're saying in the show that there's not.
Well,
they're saying that they've obviously have tried for years. There is no breaking it. It will not break down.
All right. I feel like it's just,
it's super athlete's foot.
And these are things that are actually out in the real world.
Funguses? Sure.
No, this actual cordyceps shit that is going on. Did you not see all those stories in real life that's happening right now with these things being slowly like infecting other things than what they normally did?
Like animals?
Yes.
Yeah, because animals aren't being treated with fungi. That's what I'm saying. You could treat an animal that got infected with this very quickly.
Okay. We just went through a pandemic, right? And they're still kind of in one.
This isn't a virus. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not the same thing where it's a unique virus. It's a fungus that will respond to a fungicide just like any other one.
No, they don't all are affected by one thing.
Well, whatever. We're not going to debate it.
I mean, that's just what it is.
Because scientist KJ has
I'm just saying, like, that's part of the whole premise behind this.
Behind the fictitious video game, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that
it's fine for a video game, it's just not realistic.
Oh,
people don't
Jesus
need
Christ.
to worry about this happening, is my point.
I don't think that we necessarily have to worry about it happening, but there's definitely things like this that could happen, not in the sense of a widespread zombie fucking shit, but we've just gone through a fucking pandemic of things getting spread. Yes, was that spread through the air and everything like that? Sure.
Well, it's through a virus, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But can this other thing...
we got to worry about
China.
China weaponizing fucking athlete's foot. Here we go.
Yeah.
China.
But I'm just saying
China.
that those first couple episodes where they had those kind of like cold opens before it got into the story were just phenomenal. I thought they were going to keep doing that every single episode, which I was a little bit disappointed they stopped after like episode 4. I think the last one is the episode with Frank and Bill, because they show the Ellie and Joel walking, and they kind of see like that mass grave, and then it cuts to the scene of the fabric of that girl who's holding the baby when they're still alive, when the pandemic first happens to them.
So they take a pickup truck. This is my other problem with that scene, right? They take a pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
When they leave, it's got nothing in the back of it. a tent.
I don't remember.
Like
What
when
do you
they're
mean?
like leaving the town of whatnot. Like this guy has stockpiled
Oh, why didn't they take more? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? Okay, yeah.
like you're gonna cross the country, and you're literally at like a fortress of solitude with like he has a wall of guns.
Yeah, but didn't Ellie specifically say, why aren't we taking all the guns? And he said, because something along the lines of, it's a good thing to have like a storehouse to come back to if you need it, kind of thing.
Yeah, but he still would have taken some more.
Yeah,
But me,
I mean, they took a bag of guns.
no, he takes a handgun,
Yeah.
like his gun,
I can't
and
remember
he
his
tells her
justification,
not
but-
to get a gun, and then she finds one upstairs.
Well, he doesn't want her to have a gun.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with anything.
Right, but,
That's
like,
just
if
him
you're-
going to shoot it.
he takes a hunting rifle. Like if you're,
And a pistola.
well, it's already his pistol.
Yeah.
He already has that one. Like
Maybe
if
just
you're
ammo,
at like a
maybe.
safe house, like he's got an AR on the wall, like a really nice AR. Like that is what you decide not to choose over your hunting rifle. Really?
It worked for him.
Yeah. Okay, but
I mean, did it though? Because when he goes to that hospital, he's not going through going. He's going through with an AR. He picks up off a body. And
Well,
just
that's what
blowing
happens in the
people
game,
away.
too.
Yeah.
It's funny because he picked up an AR at the end of like the first episode, I think, and fans were getting annoyed by that because they're like, it takes us all the way to the end of the game to finally get an AR or second episode. But then he ends up dropping it off at that like convenience store because it has no bullets. But he now knows where a gun is if he ever needs it, if he can find some ammo. But anyway, as you guys were going through this show, like for me, there are some shows out there that I can wait week after week after week for and get excited for, and there's others I need to wait and just binge it. Was this a show that you guys were excited for every week to watch to see what was going to happen next?
I waited, didn't really want to, but then there was also times when I just forgot it was on Sunday, and then I watched it Monday night.
But
Which
either
is the
way,
same thing
like,
I've done with Mandalorian. I forgot to watch it yesterday, and I'm literally waiting to get done this podcast so I can go watch it.
What
Because
about you,
apparently
Corey?
it's good, and there's already spoilers online. I'm like trying to avoid the internet entirely.
Good luck with that.
It's just you just avoided the internet entirely. That's how you do it.
What about you?
I watched it mostly on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, even if you're watching it on Monday, I just mean, like, are there not shows that you guys have that you want to wait until it's all over and just binge it rather than?
Not
I
like
only
you,
binge
like-
I only binge shows that like all the episodes are out.
Well, I agree. That's how you binge.
No, what he means is he doesn't intentionally wait, like when a show is airing, so that he can then binge it after the fact, kind of thing.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna watch a show, I'll watch it the day or within it comes out.
Yeah, I know you're not that way. You
No.
can't. You have
There's
no
just some
patience.
shows that you need to have 2 or 3 episodes to get you hooked. Otherwise, what's the fucking point of keep going? If the
Because
first
you
episode
hate
is
the Orville,
mediocre,
that's why.
not just the Orville, but if Yellowstone, if we didn't have the podcast where I had to watch 5 episodes, I would have stopped after the first or the second.
And now you want to watch the new season when it comes out.
I do when it's fully out, so I can binge it.
Ugh.
I didn't do that weekly shit. Screw
Oh, I
that
can't do
noise.
that.
No, but that's
Mostly
one of
because
those
my
shows.
old lady can't do that.
But that's one of those shows for me where I'd rather have that. There are certain ones like a Stranger Things, even though they release it all at once, I could wait a week to watch that every week because it's that compelling to me. If a show's not that compelling to me, I'll wait until it's all out, and then maybe I'll watch it and see if it's binge worthy.
Yeah, but then that's how you get spoilers. That's
I-
how someone's
I
like,
don't,
"Oh my
though.
god, you see that this happened?"
And I say, shut the fuck up.
"Yeah,
You
but
bitch.
now you know. Now you've been spoiled."
It's a TV show. Like, it's not going to be that groundbreaking.
Spoiled.
I got the Red Wedding spoiled for me for Game of Thrones before that ever happened.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
Everybody dies.
spoiler from 2013.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it that long
I
ago?
don't know, a long
Ah,
time. Red
probably.
Wedding was.
I know Game of Thrones started when I was in college,
Yeah.
so a while ago. Feels like just yesterday, but we're old now. So
All right. So for the story as it progressed, and so this is going to be more directed towards Mike because obviously he played the game. Now it's mostly the cutscenes from the game is
Right.
really what we're experiencing. We get a little bit of what you would do during the game for the
Like when they're going through the
museum. That's where
With the clickers.
where the first
the first clicker, yeah. Like that is
I was-
all from the game.
Well, so the lobby of the hotel thing too. When you're like wading through the water
Oh, yes.
and you have to send Ellie like around the
Yeah, but
backside.
part of that is though yes, but there's no clickers, there's no zombies infected there. It's just
I know, but you just be
it's just a dialogue scene.
So
more or
you know
less.
the part where like she climbs up. I can't remember if there's like a ladder or something,
Mhm.
but then it falls, and he's like, "Oh, are you okay?" You know?
It's about the giraffe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that in the game?
Oh, fucking yeah, right, it is.
The second I saw him be like, "Okay, you go up first, and then help me," like I was like, "Oh, that's video game moment." Like, "Oh, I can't make it through that hole, so you got to go around and unlock the door," kind of crap. So,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's what they do. That's what they did in the hotel scene. She like goes around and lets you in.
Yeah.
I did think that was a bit weird because he seems, I don't know.
What's
it's-
weird?
Well, they don't know what's up there, so he's like, "Go ahead and climb up there first."
Well, he's already at this point started to trust her in the sense she can take care of herself. She's proven
Yeah.
that time and time again,
But
and
you
he's
can't
trying
have
to.
a gun, but go ahead and climb up into
Well, I
the
think
dark
at this
spot.
point she has a gun.
Yeah,
Does she?
Yeah,
pretty far on.
yeah, because this
Okay.
is after
Well, does
she
he
almost
know?
gets
But
raped.
does he know she has a gun? No, it's not.
Isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the,
The
giraffe
giraffe
is after
scene's
she.
before the rape thing. The rape thing is closer, not the end, but closer to it.
Yeah,
Well, she's all sad and stuff when that happened, so I thought that was after the almost rape thing.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah,
Now
I
that you
feel
said
like
that,
it-
she is sad.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. Like he's
Maybe it's
trying
just
to get
because
her
all the
excited.
people around them die nonstop, though. Like
That's fair.
She has a lot of reasons to be sad.
Yeah, because this is right before they find
The hospital.
the hospital.
Yeah, which is after the rape.
Yeah, actually, you're right. You're right. It is after the rape.
Yeah, you bitches.
I don't-
But
I
yeah,
don't
so
know.
KJ
she's
was
all-
right for once. Hey.
Yeah, it's in episode 9. So when they're doing that, because you get the almost rape scene in episode 8, and then you get to that scene and she's all dejected. There's also a scene, and they didn't include it in the TV show, but they gave a little reference to it. When they're walking at the very beginning of episode 9, they're walking on like a highway, and you see this little RV thing in the game. If you get in the RV, there's notes inside of it that are ungodly depressing about like killing his family, because they didn't have food, they didn't have this. Think of the end of you saw The Mist, right? The Stephen King movie.
The one with Thomas Jane?
Yes, where
Yeah.
he kills everybody and then finds out that everything's actually okay.
Well, that the armies arrived and the mist is going away or whatever.
And they've kind of like either killed or moved back the
they would've
monster.
been saved.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he then used all the bullets to murder them all.
Yeah.
And then, so it's similar to that in the sense.
Awkward.
Yes. It's similar to that without obviously there being a big rescue moment, but he just decides at this moment that the best option is just to kill them, like kill everybody. So with that, like it's a little nod to it. But anyway, she's all dejected, and then he tries to get her a little bit like motivated. I trust you. Hey, how about you climb up the ladder first? And then the first chance she does, she's like, holy shit, there's a giraffe, and then just runs off.
Yeah. And just like, you know what will cheer you up? Climb up into that dark spot where there
It
might
wasn't
be.
even dark.
It's not lit.
It's lit. Are you? They're in a fucking like
A
train
building.
metro whatever thing.
They're in a building that
It's like a under
has
construction.
windows, but it's not.
I mean, you can
It's
see
like an under construction
everything.
building.
it's dim. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I
think.
mean,
Okay, fine. Even if it's well lit, it doesn't mean there's not a thing right
agreed.
up there.
That I agree with.
Yeah.
But I love that it's a real giraffe.
No wonder everybody
TV
he
show.
like helps dies because he's always like, oh, you
You
know
go
what?
first."
Go ahead. I don't know what will cheer you up today. You go first.
What did you think of the everything with his daughter to begin with, in like the first episode? Especially you not playing the game. Like, did you get emotionally connected at all to his daughter in the first episode before she?
I knew
know,
she was
died?
gonna die. Not even. I haven't played the game. But
I started-
I was like, that's not Ellie. that is Joel.
Yeah.
She's gonna be going somewhere because she's not in the main. She's not on the cover of the fucking game, so
Yeah.
she has to die.
I started the show right off the bat, and I told the old lady, I was like, don't get emotionally attached to any character. And like, first episode, fucking,
Oh, yeah.
she's like, what the fuck? I was like, told you.
And I like that there's so many little subtleties in that first episode with everything about gluten, and that they didn't get to have the cake for his birthday because if they would have had the cake, they would have got infected too. He's on Atkins, which means no gluten, so he hasn't been eating all this stuff.
Wait, so gluten is what killed everybody?
Yeah.
What a dumb fucking.
Well, it's
it's the grain.
I
It's the
get
grain
it.
and it's the
I
wheat.
get it,
yeah.
but it's just a really funny fucking thing to like. People who didn't eat gluten got
Yeah.
past the first iteration of the virus.
And then got murdered by people that
Yeah.
were infected.
This game's written by somebody who's gluten free and like nut free and everything. I guarantee you.
I don't remember if it was gluten or whatever in the video game.
it's just wheat product. Like,
In the video game, it was wheat too.
no, I don't know.
Yeah, see, I don't remember what it
I
was
don't
in the
think
video
it.
game.
I don't think it goes into detail of how it got over here.
Everybody in LA survived because it was the gluten free population. Like,
But yeah, so I thought like all that stuff with the neighbor is not in the video game. Going over
with
there,
that old lady that.
not only just the old lady, but also the younger lady, not young,
Well,
but younger than the old lady.
yeah, you have neighbors that like run down, like zombies that run down the street at you. like,
Yeah.
right off the bat.
But you don't get any of that precursor
Right.
stuff where there is no infected. Basically, the game starts with you know
going
her
outside.
her waking up,
yeah.
and wondering where her dad is. That's where you first get to take over
Well, and then
the
you
gameplay.
you jump into the truck and
Yes, which that scene too, where they're in the
although
truck,
when you
is a shot for shot for the game,
and you
as
can
she's
look
moving-
around
and
you
she
can
does
pan,
that too.
You
It's
can
so
pan
good.
around in the game.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what it does in the TV show.
The
too.
airplane
like, as
crashing,
she's
I was like,
moving.
holy crap! This
Yep.
thing, this. As soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, this is going to be shot for shot of the game.
Yeah,
Because I remember seeing that, and I'm like, oh shit!
yeah, it was.
That
it
was
real
the
good.
first scene for me that like I.
Immediately new video game.
Yeah, even though I haven't played it, I was like, "Oh, this is a video game scene adapted for screen." You could just tell by the style of it, like
Yeah,
drive, and the fucking plane's coming down. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's a video game level right there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even a level, but it was cutscene. But yeah,
Oh, it's just a cutscene.
it's just a cutscene.
It seemed like a part to me where like you would see the plane coming in a cutscene, and then you had to drive and try to get like
No.
you have a timer before.
So
it hits,
you're
kind
in the game. You start off playing Joel's daughter, and she comes downstairs, and then she doesn't know where her dad is. Her dad comes in. They eventually leave with Tommy, drive down the road. That's they then get to the town, see the plane crash. They get in a
I
car
like-
wreck, and then after the car wreck, you take over as Joel.
I like
So-
how you were describing that like it's just a day in the life. It's like they get in the car, they go for a nice drive downtown.
Yeah,
a plane
man.
crashes around them.
they run over zombies.
They
Yeah,
get
sometimes you gotta do
Starbucks.
it.
you know,
Yeah.
like-
But yeah, so
Starbucks
it's
gets
basically
down.
like
yeah.
when she wakes up, you're in her view, and then when she becomes unconscious and they wake up again, you're under Joel, and then you're carrying basically her throughout the first part of the game until obviously the climax happens where she dies,
Yep.
which was such a good scene, and was when I was playing the game was a little bit unexpected that she was gonna die. I expected her to die eventually, but
She
I wasn't
on the
expecting
cover.
right
They should
then.
have given it away.
I was expecting it to happen later, not right that
Oh,
that
okay.
second, because I assumed there was still gonna be like potentially a bigger
she
lead
wasn't The Last of Us.
up. She wasn't.
She was the first of us.
To be fair, Joel's not the last of us either.
I know.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Well, in the game or in the show? Because
Well, right now we're
my
not.
understanding, from what I'm reading, is they are not going to follow.
They're going to follow. That's what Neil Druckmann said. We are going to do Last of Us Part 2 in the second season, but it's so big that it's probably going to be Season 2 and Season 3. But when they do the thing that we're talking about, and I'm
It should be,
trying
like,
not
right
to
off the
spoil,
bat.
Oh,
If-
jeez, you haven't spoiled it yet. I mean, are you gonna cut out the part where you're like, he's not the last of us?
He's not technically. He's old. He's gonna die of old age.
He didn't die. He's just not alive. I didn't spoil
He's
it.
sleeping.
Spoiler: he does not die of the old age.
He
Plus,
does
there's
not
been
die
like
of the old
50
age.
articles on Facebook like, will Joel live past his moment of death in the
Nope.
game? And it's like,
They love it's such a good moment, but at the moment when it happened in the video game, it wasn't
the
a
only
good
thing
moment.
I'll say is it might piss you off, but they might end up changing their mind.
Neil Druckmann won't.
Okay, but my point is, we don't know until we see the show.
Sure,
So,
Neil Druckmann won't.
okay, we'll see.
As we saw with the first game.
Neil
But you
Druckmann
also
might
have-
get them telling him, "Fuck you, we're HBO." You're
I
gonna do
almost
what we say."
guarantee you he has something in his contract where he allowed them to take his story that he owns the rights to, that he has things to say over them, or we just never get a season 2.
there might be some
Guaranteed.
stipulations, but
He's not going to let them fuck up his baby.
so then they come in and we go, "We'll give you $20 billion
he
to
doesn't
let
need
us."
the money.
Everybody needs $20 billion.
Sure,
Yeah.
but he doesn't need the
God,
money.
Bill Gates would be like, "Yeah, I'll take $20 billion."
I doubt he would.
How many dicks I gotta suck? I'm Bill Gates, y'all.
I don't know, man. I feel like people want Pedro Pascal to be alive.
I
feel like he's a
don't
good
disagree.
character.
A lot of people wanted Joel to be alive.
But your new main
Yeah, but he's
character,
a video game
I don't-
character.
Who's gonna play?
Her. It's still going to be her. They're not replacing her. They've already announced that. You're wrong, but that's fine.
I like her as a character. I don't think she can carry a show by herself.
Well, it's not going to be by herself. There's other cast of characters.
Right?
Is there another Joel?
No, the woman who
There's,
kills him.
You need a
Well, there's Abby.
You need the badass guy.
Well, you
Joel.
have the badass girl, Abby, and then you also have Ellie's love interest that you kind of meet in episode
It's
5
gonna
or
be
6.
an all-female cast, and it's gonna bomb.
I mean, I don't think it'll bomb, especially if they follow the same story that we have.
I'm
here.
not
Plus,
gonna
there's
s-
also Tommy as well.
Is Tommy involved heavily?
Not heavily. Like it's mostly about Ellie and Abby.
I'm not saying this that I'm gonna watch it regardless, even if it lasts 10 seasons and I don't love it. In the 7th season, I'm gonna do Supernatural and be like, there's some shit seasons, but I'm gonna stick with it because the first one was so good. But having said that, if you take away Joel and you don't replace him with another character that, you know,
is equally as impressive.
well, and honestly, it's a relatable thing, right? Like if you're a teen guy or even adult guy, you want a character you can relate to, even though we know we're not Joel. It's like, man, if I was in a zombie apocalypse, I would so want to
You've
be
made
Joel.
this take before in another podcast, and it's so weird to me that you can't connect with a female character and just enjoy the show rather than being like, well, I can't see myself in that character because she has a vagina.
That's not my point.
I guess I won't like the show.
When you were a kid, did you want to be Spider-Man? Or
Sure.
did
Or
you
you
want to
wanted
be
Wonder
Miss
Woman.
Marvel?
Well, I didn't even know Miss Marvel existed, but I had one to be. Wonder Woman has the lasso of truth, and she had an invisible fucking plane.
So you said, man, I'd rather be Wonder Woman than Superman.
I've
or
never
Batman.
said those words, but I don't think I've ever said the other one either.
But my point is, it's normal for you to relate to
As a
kid.
child, sure.
Even as
Are you a
adults.
child?
Even as an adult.
I mean, it's such a weird premise that if I don't see a man on the screen, because I'm a man, I can't connect.
Why do you
with
like Bill
the
Burr? Because
story.
you can relate to the stuff he's saying.
But I like the female comics that I see too.
you don't even know their
Nikki-
names. Ha!
Yeah, he knows one.
To be
Nikki
fair.
Glazer, Amy Schumer.
You like Amy Schumer.
I used to love Amy Schumer.
I used to
Nobody
like-
likes Amy Schumer
I used
except
to
Amy Schumer.
way back in the day before she even became like super popular when she was on Last Comic Standing. She was hilarious.
Nikki Glazer's great. I'll give you. I like Nikki Glazer a lot.
But either way,
I just don't
it doesn't
think
matter
that-
about the sex
and-
to connect with them.
They have to have like a phenomenal all-female cast to make it do well.
Well, I think they've already Abby they haven't cast yet, but they've already cast Ellie, and unless they recast, they've already cast the girl that's going to be the
put it
love
this way.
interest of Ellie.
Tell me an all-female cast that's done well.
Well, in another way I'll put it is, you think I'm having trouble relating to a female character. What I'm saying is that, forget about me for a second. We can look at evidence in film and TV where they've replaced characters or it's been an all-woman-led cast, and guys who like nerdy shit, because it's still a nerdy show, won't like it now.
Here's
It's
the
just- it's
issue
just
that
the
I
way
feel
it
like
is.
you're
I'm not-
missing
Okay.
here.
Patriarchy exists.
I'm not saying it's
I-
right. I'm just saying it is
But
what
I
it
think
is.
what you're missing here is that it's already been done in the game that
Yep.
was wildly popular and successful.
because you get to play the game.
Sure, but you play as women.
Okay,
Well, there's
but
plenty.
you get to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here I'm going to watch the women do the same thing
Right,
that
so
the
you're
men
just
do.
watching him though.
That's what I did in the first one.
Yeah.
Well, no, let me say one thing. It also depends on. I'm not saying there are plenty of characters that I think can carry a franchise. It's the same thing with Black Panther 2. I still don't think the person who played Shuri can carry that franchise.
Agreed.
And I think
I think she could have if the second movie was different.
okay, but she didn't in that movie. Let's just say that.
Sure, although we are in the minority there, just for the record.
That's
we
fine.
are the minority.
That's fine.
The majority of people love that fucking movie.
Because
The
it was a
majority
love
are
letter
also
to,
minorities, though.
Chadwick Boseman.
Just saying, everybody
But
loved
that's-
her performance. Everybody thought
Oh.
that she did a great job. We are in the minority.
That's fine. But anyway, I don't think she can carry one. But there's plenty of movies I've seen where a female lead carries the role easily.
Mhm.
I just don't think that the person who plays Ellie can carry a show for me and keep my attention.
Also agreed.
Yeah.
Billy
It's fine for
something.
standalone episodes.
Isn't it Bella? Something?
Bella, yeah,
Bella
Thorne,
Ramsey or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Bella
don't
Thorne.
think she can.
I think you'll be proven wrong.
I might be, and I'm gonna watch it anyway. So, but Pedro Pascal and her together, I don't even know if I would watch something like Pedro Pascal. I like him a lot, but I think he needs a counterpart to really make his show successful.
You mean like the two big successful shows he has?
Pretty much, although Grogu being the counterpart.
That's what
It's
it
not
is.
even Grogu though. Actually, good point. Because in Mandalorian, the thing that makes that show the
It's a
most
cast of
interesting
characters.
is you have a badass character, but he's interacting with other characters who bring more story to it. Because
I mean,
The
to be fair,
Mandalorian
that's
is-
exactly what happened in Last of Us. So you're dealing with Joel and Ellie to begin with. Well, Joel, Ellie, and Joel's side piece. I can't think of her name. And then they meet up with the Fireflies and Marlene, and then
Yeah,
eventually meet up
similar.
with
Tess.
Nope. Even Tess.
Tess
Yes,
is
yes,
his
yes.
side piece.
And
you
then
call
they
them.
go to that town and they meet up with the deaf kid and his brother.
Yeah.
And then they go on and they
Samuel.
meet his Joel's brother Tommy, and then they go on and you go on and go on and go on. So
Yeah.
they're it's gonna probably be the same thing for season 2 because that's in the game too, where there's other
But
characters.
you take Joel out of the equation. It honestly, I'll have to see it because I haven't played the game. But you take Joel out of the equation, Ellie shouldn't survive as long as
well,
she
it's
did.
years later.
Okay, well, maybe she gets better at stuff then. I
I mean,
guess.
what
but
was she bad at?
she would have died without Joel multiple
Sure.
times. That's
Sure.
my point. Yeah,
He would have died without her too.
Once,
multiple
I
times.
think.
I guess to be fair, the episode where she hunts the deer and then like does all that stuff, I mean, that was still interesting,
Yep.
but
Yeah, I said standalone episodes. I think she can carry fine. I don't think I could watch a whole season of her being the main character focus.
That's what it's gonna be.
well,
Her
that's,
and
I
Abby.
don't think I'll enjoy it as much, but we'll
But I'm
see.
also curious because it is a TV show and they do add stuff. Is what if, because there is a time jump in between the first and the second game. So let's say episode 1, they do what they do in the opening fucking minutes of Last of Us Part 2 and they kill Joel. But as the game or as the TV show
Spoiler.
progresses,
You
they
know
end
this.
up, we've already spoiled it like 4 times. As the
I didn't
TV
know how
show
quick, though,
progresses,
Dark Soul.
fucking
they're gonna kill
first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
As the TV show progresses, you get maybe flashbacks of that in between time with her and Pedro, while they're at
Maybe
Joel's,
they just
or at
won't
Tommy's
time
camp. No, they're time jumping. They've already said it.
Well, I don't want to be that guy, but there's plenty of times where they'll say one thing to put us in the wrong track and then do something else.
I mean, it's kind of hard when there's already a story for it of what they're going
Yeah,
off
but there's
of.
literally a time gap you just said that has no story that they could write.
No, there's a story there, just a story that doesn't play out in the
Let me ask you this,
game.
without spoiling it for everybody. The end of the second game, does it wrap up or is it open to like a third one that would
You
continue
could
his
do
story?
a third one. I just don't know.
How it would go?
Yeah.
So HBO either has to go, okay, we're going to keep going because this is such a big hit after the even if
season.
we break it up into 3 seasons,
Yeah.
or they can extend it even longer and milk the cow a little more by
again,
putting it-
I'm still thinking Neil Druckmann will have to decide whether he wants to continue it there if he hasn't continued the medium in the new game, because there's talk about a Last of Us Part 3 video game, but it hasn't been officially announced yet, and Naughty Dog isn't sure if they want to do another game with those 2 games being like kind of perfect. Do they want to do a third one? Do they want to risk that? Or are they fine with just leaving those 2 games as standalone games?
I'd be interested to see how much creative control he really has, because studios don't usually give them like, carte
then I wouldn't
blanche
have,
to do
like,
what they
for
want.
me anyway, I wouldn't have agreed to do the show then. Then
Well, some people like money.
he has enough.
What? So what did he? He was the writer of the game.
He was the creator who
He coded it.
He wrote and co-directed the original game.
Okay. How much do you think he actually made off of that, though? Look up his net worth.
Well, I mean, these are
I bet
never
it's
right,
$2
but-
million.
Yeah, I bet it's a lot less than you think it is.
And if HBO's like, hey, we want to make this into 4 seasons, we'll give you $20 million.
He's worth 10.
10 million?
Yep.
But is that after selling to? That's probably current.
That's as
right?
of February 2023.
So that's,
so that's
probably
including
yeah,
HBO.
That's his HBO payday right there.
Yeah,
though.
$9 million was from HBO. $1 million
Yeah.
from writing a game.
Yeah, I don't know how much they paid him to do
Probably
whatever.
a good chunk.
Yeah.
That's
Probably-
probably why
probably
he
10
doesn't have
million.
creative control. So
Yeah, I don't see him giving the rights to this with what his story is and what he did with it and the shit that especially the backlash that he faced for the second game before people started to like actually appreciate what the game was. Because you have such that shock value to begin with, and then you basically are kind of going through a Stockholm syndrome in the second game because they make you play as Abby, which is the person that kills him, and you play as her to get all of her backstory. And spoiler for you, because you're not gonna fucking watch the goddamn
I'm gonna play the game.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I am.
But she's
Some of us don't have as much free time, but I will get to it.
Yeah, okay, Apex. But she's the daughter of the doctor.
You play that Apex Legends.
Yeah, that's
is
true.
what he's saying.
I mean,
Constantly
Apex is a game you can pick up and be done.
for hours at a time. I agree.
I don't play-
I
But
agree.
she's
I've
the
also
daughter.
picked it up and now I'm done with it.
But yeah, she's the daughter of the doctor. So
Cool.
it's all one of those things that's.
Now I feel like I don't even have to play the game.
But he
I
dealt
like
with
how
a
you
lot
started
of
like,
controversy.
I don't want to give any spoilers. Okay, fine, he dies. Okay, he dies in the first 2
Everybody
minutes. Okay,
dies.
he's killed by Abby,
Maybe
who's
pay
the daughter
attention
of the
to
doctor.
things.
He uses a 45 caliber bullet.
Yeah.
No, it's actually
His last words
Isn't it
are-
a golf club?
Huh?
Isn't it a golf club?
I don't know.
It
Spoiler.
might be a golf club.
Jesus. You just gotta be like, oh no, you didn't spoil it correctly. Let me double down on it.
It's a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
Sure. Why not?
Gonna have to put
that's
a
wrong zombie.
caption at the beginning of this episode
That there
says,
will be spoilers.
for season 2.
Yeah, and season 1 if you haven't finished it by
That's
this
true.
point.
You shouldn't be listening to this podcast if you.
That's true. We do some preview episodes, but when we're doing preview episodes, it's of something that's like a second season or a second movie, and we're always reviewing the first one.
You're previewing season 2.
Yeah. I will say that Part 1 saw a 32% increase at retail and remastered 27% when the TV show came out.
Shock.
Yeah. 337% in the United Kingdom. Jesus.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, it's because it became popular and people are like, oh, I've never played this game, but I like the TV show. I guess I'm
I
gonna
know,
go
it's
play.
just weird that the United Kingdom specifically
yeah.
went up that much more.
It's because it's a game that you can use weapons. They don't have those in the UK.
I guess. But they play Call of Duty.
I know. I bet they do.
They play all the shooters because I always get yelled at by British guys.
I feel like it's just somebody in America throwing out the British accent.
It could be.
Yeah. We already had
Maybe.
Mike doing it earlier.
Well, it's like, what was that game? Sea of Thieves. For some reason, like a bunch of freaking Eastern European people play like Norwegian
yeah.
people like nonstop.
All kinds.
Yeah.
All right. So for season 2, besides for me spoiling stuff, are you excited to see, or are you not now kind of knowing what I know in the sense that he dies very quickly?
I was really excited, but now I know everything. So what's the
And
fucking
you don't
point?
know everything.
I probably won't even watch it.
You don't know everything.
By the time it actually comes out, you'll probably have
Yeah,
told me every little.
we
bit
don't
of
know
it.
if he's
We're not
killed
doing
with-
another podcast.
I
on
know,
this.
but just you probably walk up to him and shoot. Hey, by the way, episode 3 will probably be this. That
You
happened."
you haven't played the second game though, but you just knew of the death, right?
Yeah, so my buddy played it.
Okay.
But I don't know if he was killed with a driver or a 9-iron.
It's fucking quick, man.
Mike heard
Hurt my soul.
You play as a female character. It's like, nope,
Oof.
not doing it.
Well, there's also a
Yeah.
trans character in there, so
Oh, I'm out.
yeah,
That was in Harry Potter too, but
yeah, but that was shoehorned in. This was
That was
like
it was weird in Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
the voice was completely sounded like it was not
supposed
audio recorded the way everybody else's was.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it was an afterthought.
That's what it
because
seemed
of
like
all the
because
stuff
of that.
with
This was
what's her
it's
face?
part of the game. It's part of the story based on what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's
I did
really
like-
well done.
What's her name or his name now? Paige, the person from the superhero show on Netflix. God, I'm blanking on it. We watched it. Klaus. He can speak to ghosts.
Oh,
I can't think of it.
from Misfits. Nathan or that's his name in
what's the
it
show
called?
on Netflix?
Oh, Umbrella Academy.
And then the really powerful girl that becomes that is
damn it.
transitioned now. Is it Elliot Page?
Elliot Page,
Is,
yeah.
is what
Yeah.
his name is now.
Yeah.
That
So-
is what the game people say that she was based on.
yeah. So I
people
thought it was funny
freaked
too.
the fuck out about
Yeah.
that, and there was 2 games that came out somewhat similar of time frame. One was called Beyond Two Souls, which was actually motion capped everything to be her at the time that's now him, and it looks exactly like she did at that time. And then The Last of Us came out as well, and it looks a little bit like her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
And
there's
she was-
huge
and
controversy over
isn't,
that. And they got
isn't
sued.
Bella Ramsey now either transitioning or something?
No, but she's what's the word?
I thought
Non-binary.
Oh, is that what it is?
Non-binary, yeah.
She's a big ass forehead.
She does have. She's got
She's
a
got
little
5
bit of
head. Little Downsy.
like. Well, I was gonna say Downsy. I was gonna say. Remember the guy, the movie The Mask, when the old movie with
Jim Carrey?
no, not the,
You said The Mask.
The Mask.
it's
is Jim
called
Carrey.
The Mask, but it's not.
hey.
It's not Jim Carrey. It's the guy with the face that's all messed up. You don't remember?
Oh,
that
I know what
movie?
you're talking about. Yeah.
It's got it kind of. She has that facial
Like
structure.
like squinty eyes.
yeah,
kinda,
yeah. She has a very similar structure to that.
It's funky.
I don't know what. Yeah, it's just an odd facial shape, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, but I knew she was. I thought it was funny though because people got all upset
She looks like
that
an
they
old
were gonna
kabuki
have
mask.
Elliot Page like was in the running for this role or something, or like it was suggested that
She was
he'd
not
be the-
offered it.
I know, but it like
Nor should he at the time just because of the age thing. You're supposed to be a
She-
14-year-old girl.
Could have pulled it off.
well, yeah, but
It's called acting.
there's
Yeah.
so many shows where you're supposed to be like like Smallville. None of them look like they're 15.
Yeah.
In the
right.
first season, I thought like some of them could be
no
like,
way.
seniors
He
in
looks
high
like
school
he's
at least.
24.
Hey,
'cause
Mom,
he was
what did you
24.
get from the grocery
Yeah.
store today?
Yeah, we need to have the talk, Clark. Oh, do we?
Yeah. He's like 38.
Oh,
Got a
that's too
full
funny.
beard and
So anyway, now
What they
knowing
feeding you?
that if they follow the game, which does have him being offed, is that something that I know you said like you'd watch it regardless?
yeah, I'll watch it. I just don't know if it'll. I don't know if I'll be as engaged in it. I mean, I might be more engaged because it sounds like the second season will have more
Action.
monster. Like
Yeah, it's
the
supposed to have
monsters.
more infected.
Yeah, so I mean, I might be. It's just again, I think Pedro Pascal's character is my favorite character in the game. I mean, in the show.
In the game, huh?
In the show, I'm sure he will be in the game too, by the sounds of it. But in the show, he definitely is. So then, when you take him out of the equation, it's hard to imagine it not being lesser to me than it is with him in it. So
Right.
It's hugely impactful though. Like it's the biggest rug pull that I've ever experienced in a game, I think. because no one's expecting that. And I played that game the day it came out, so there were no spoilers. Because I think Naughty Dog had like a gag order on it or whatever it's called, for like the you can't of force
NDA?
people. No, not an NDA, but they can't force people to do it. But they can say, hey, if you want this game early for like the publishers out there, you're not allowed to talk about this game for like X amount of days until after the game is released. Like you can give a review on it, but you're not allowed to give any spoilers at all.
Sounds like an NDA.
I don't think it's called something though, but I don't think it's an NDA.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Fuck off.
Don't talk about disclosure
A
agreements.
boot. So yeah. Anyway, when that came out, like again, it's at like the first 5-10 minutes of the game, so it's the biggest rug pull to then have to be like, okay, I'm gonna keep going with this game to see what the fuck happens, but Jesus Christ, and then it feels like Stockholm Syndrome because you're playing as that character now.
Yep.
Then you're trying to sympathize with that character because of everything that you're experiencing, and it's a fucking mind fuck, but it's done really well. Especially when you're getting, and I'm wondering what they're gonna do with that too. Are they gonna jump, because that's what you do in the game? You jump between Ellie and Abby. So are they gonna do that with the TV show too? We're gonna get like one episode that's Abby, one episode that's Ellie, one episode that's Abby, one episode that's Ellie.
I don't know. I just know I'm going to go home and break the disc in half because you spoiled everything.
No, now, if anything, you should just want to go play.
No, I don't need to. I've already experienced it.
I have already played that game 4 or 5 times and watched the TV
Yeah,
show.
but you're one of those people who you'll play a game and then you'll immediately replay it.
Not immediately.
You did that with Spider-Man
Well, I jumped up the difficulty.
and God of War.
No, didn't do it with God of War.
Or-
I'm just now about to play God of War again. It's literally what I was doing when Mike showed
So
up.
you did
Because it's New Game Plus.
Yeah, but that's my point. You're like, oh, I'm gonna play it back to like I put it aside, and maybe a long time down the road I'll go back to.
Most of yours just sit on the shelf that apparently sitting in the package still.
Yep, they both are. Well, not the one of those is used. The other one's the remastered one. That's
Yeah,
new,
along with
so-
all the other games that are just sitting there.
Yep,
Collecting dust.
that's right.
All right, so let's do final thoughts. Let's close this bitch out. What do we got, Mike? Let's start with you. We got closing thoughts on Last of Us, the game, TV show, whatever.
I enjoy video games more because it's more interactive.
Obviously.
Then the story was great.
Yeah.
The story for the show is really good. I wish it was a little bit more actiony. Like the parts that were action were done beautifully. It was really good. I just wish that there was a little bit more of that and a little less of like the whole episodes that are just super, super slow. But yeah, it's a solid 8.
He didn't say it's good, so Corey.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
a solid 8.
Well, no, I meant the normal.
It's good.
There you go. I know it's been a while.
I'm giving an actual review. As
I
fuck.
think
I know. So I'm not used to it, Mike.
I think it's probably better than the game.
I will disagree.
No, I liked it. Obviously, I'd probably give it an 8 too. Like it's not in the top 10 favorite shows of all time for me. I think it's one of the best shows that's on right now, though.
I don't know if that takes that much. I don't feel like there's that many great shows on at the moment.
Oh, right now, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you meant you don't know if it takes that much to reach my top 10 favorite
No,
shows.
I just mean
And I was
right now.
like, hell yeah, it does.
It's your top 10 favorite shows. You know, Roly Poly Oly,
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
So yeah, for me, it's more like the 9.25 range. It is a very faithful.
I like that you were
adaptation.
making the same face I was.
For what?
You know,
For
solid
giving it a
Very
9.25.
specific. You know, I think I'd
I
give
said
it
9 or a 9.25.
You know what?
It's
Actually,
like
it's a good point. I think I might
like a
give it
fucking
an
earthquake.
8.156. If
It's 9 1/4. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
9.25 on the Richter scale.
But it's a faithful adaptation. It's one of the best adaptations, if not the best adaptation of a video game to a movie.
I'll agree with that.
Um,
It's not a
Resident
movie,
Evil.
though.
is not.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Especially the later ones. They're just off the,
first
fucking
one
rails.
wasn't bad, and the
It
second
wasn't
one,
a faithful adaptation.
It was
It was a completely like spin-off type thing.
oh whatever.
The one for like original PlayStation?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're down in the umbrella.
Yeah, I think the first one.
You're
and the first
not
movie,
you're a fucking cop and you're
that's
going
not the first Resident Evil.
Yes, it is.
the Resident Evil video game?
Yes.
You're in Umbrella.
I think you're thinking of Resident Evil 2, aren't you?
All of them, you're cops.
In the first one?
All of them, you are cops. Except for Village, I think.
In the first one?
7 and 8, yeah. Fuck off. Hate you both.
What about the fourth one?
I hope you die.
What kind of cop?
It's a Mountie.
Mall cop? That'd be sweet.
Anyway,
it's about time to get back in your
it
cage
is
here.
one of the best adaptations. Having Neil Druckmann there means a lot because he's literally spearheading everything. Fuck off. And then
This is the guy that's holding this story by its ball sack. apparently.
Basically.
Yeah.
and they've
Making
also
sure
got
Pedro dies.
the other guy who actually did the TV show with Neil. I'm trying to remember his name.
Pedro?
No,
We need to start that movement. Hashtag save Pedro.
What are we saving him from?
A 9-iron apparently.
No, we let him die.
I hope they bash his head in if he
Oh
dies.
man, that's what I was just
Just
thinking.
so
that
it's like, yeah,
he
so-
only learns to wear a helmet once.
I
He
love
does in the
And that's what I'm
Mandalorian.
saying. He never takes it
Dude,
off.
he had the best tweet where, like, when he was first cast as Mandalorian, he was like, I finally learned my lesson, and it was just him in his helmet. I
Yeah.
was like, that's great.
And now he's going
Now
to
he's
get
gonna
his
get
head
caved
bashed
in
in
again.
again.
Is that really what they do in the game?
Oh yeah.
In the head, though? Or,
Oh yeah.
okay.
With like the 9-iron or whatever it is. Beats
Putter.
the living fuck out of his head. And yeah, it's brutal. It's so bad. Anyway, it's great. I cannot wait for the next one. I still
Solid
want to replay
9.25.
the second game because it's been like a year or two since it came out and since I've played it. So I want to go back and play it again, knowing what I kind of know now without like having the shock value. Like it'll still be shocking when it happens, but without then basically being sad for the next hour of playing the game, being like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe they just did that. But all right. Anybody else got any more closing thoughts before we close it?
It's
No,
good.
we good? It's good. Next week, maybe Dungeons and Dragons, the movie. We've all seen it now. I know we were talking about seeing
Oh, we should have done that
the
right
original
now.
one.
Why are we not doing that?
Because we want to
tonight?
see the original one. And also because Last of Us, we were supposed to do 4 fucking weeks ago.
Yeah, we could Last of Us later.
It should have been our last episode ever.
Ever.
No. But we're gonna, next week I think will be
I
Dungeons and
forgot about
Dragons
Dungeons
unless
and
we
Dragons.
change our minds.
No D&D.
But that's what I'm saying.
Do it right now.
KJ, we're
No,
doing
I'm good.
fucking D&D
All right,
next week.
I'm fucking ending this.